Here with head coach Mike Jones of the Lincoln football team. And coach, big game this week at home against Fort Hays State. But before we go into that, last week you were on the road at Nebraska-Kearney, and after playing some of the toughest teams in the league, you came out, you played pretty well, had a couple bad bounces go your way, but what was your biggest takeaway from that game?
You know what, turnovers. You look at the game. If you look at the stats, the stats say it was 344 yards. Both teams had the exact identical amount of total yards, and you know they were on their side of the field a lot. And I think the defense played. It was probably maybe their second best, if not their best defensive output since we've been, this season. Offensively, we moved the ball. We just couldn't get in the end zone, and we just had some costly turnovers, some fluke plays. Some guys made some effort. Andre Boynton tried to get some extra yards. Ball comes out and it's on his side, but he can't reach it, and the guy's fighting for it and he gets the ball. So, we just had some plays that just didn't bounce our way, and hopefully, we'll come back and play better and get a win this week.
Well, you brought up your defense, and outside of that fluky start to the third quarter where they just kept getting the ball back to them before you could even touch them, it seemed like your defense overall played a very good game.
It was solid.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, you look at the guys. I think that Kendrick Costa played a solid game for us. Eric Howard's been improving every week. Two young defensive backs, they had their best game. Both of them had an interception, Brian and Marquise. So, we just got to build on that defensively. Offensively, we, like I said, we moved the ball well. Still got to improve on the drops. We got to improve that because if we eliminate half the drops, I think we have a great opportunity to score a lot more points.
Well, against Kearney and then also against Washburn, you've had several drives where you'd get deep into the opponent's territory inside the red zone and then, for whatever reason, not be able to come away with points. What's going to be the key to kind of getting over that hump and getting the ball either into the end zone or at least getting a field goal out of those places?
Well, you know what? We have to attempt field goals. A couple of times, against Washburn, we kicking a field goal when we're down by more than 3 scores we're not in a moral victory. So we want to, if we're going to go in, we're going to go after it. So we decided to go after for a touchdown instead of a field goal. So that's something on me. Last week, we attempted a field goal, we missed it. I thought at the time when we were going in to score, I think it was 7-7, and we had an opportunity to score a touchdown. I thought it'd be a good choice, and that was a bad decision on my part. So, we'll kick more field goals. But like I said, when the opportunity arises, and I think our offense is moving the ball, I try and give them opportunity to score touchdowns.
Well, this week you've got Fort Hays and kind of a big game. We've got the MIAA network coming to Lincoln, going to be there for most of the morning, setting everything up. With a televised game like that, especially since it's going to be at home, is that going to be a distraction for your players, or is it something that's going to energize them, get them excited?
No, hopefully it energizes. The last 2 games we played against Fort Hays have been great games. We had played them homecoming my first year here. We lose 24-21. We're going down to score. We don't score. Last year we lose, I think 31-29 or something like that. We lose by 2 points. We're going in to score again, with less than 2 minutes, and we end up throwing an interception at the end of the game. So both times we played them have been exciting games. Hopefully this year it'll be another exciting game and we'll come out on top.
Well, last year that game was on television too, the one at Fort Hays, and definitely gave the crowd a show. I think you had more than 200 yards of offense than they did in that game. But when you look at Hays on film, especially this year, this is a team that in September, had trouble scoring, and then in October they've kind of found their groove and gotten some big wins. I know they have a pretty good dual threat quarterback, but what else do you see from them on film?
They run the ball. They've been running the ball extremely well. Over the last 3 weeks, they're averaging over 250 yards rushing. So we have to do a better job of containing their run game. They have a wide receiver. I think he's 4th or 5th in the conference in receptions per game, and we had to do a good job against him. Like I said, they run the ball well, and they set up their passing game through their running game. So we have to be disciplined in our run fits, make sure our guys are where they're supposed to be at, and we have to tackle this quarterback or the running back, whoever has the football. And then when we're in coverage, we got to continue to build on that. Our secondary has to do a good job of covering.
All right, and then in addition to this being a televised game, this is going to be Lincoln's annual Think Pink game. You're probably going to see a lot of pink in the stands. You've seen some pink on your players, in gloves and towels and whatnot. With a game like this where you're encouraging everyone to wear pink, how do you feel about that kind of a statement, and just how important is it for Lincoln to have those kind of games?
No, I think it's important for the community to get involved. Breast awareness, cancer awareness month. And I believe, like I said, we are a football program to support that. You know, my father died of cancer 5 years ago, and so I understand what cancer does to families, and it's something that I'm behind 100%.
And then finally, one of the things we're going to be doing during the game is we're going to be donating a check to a breast cancer research firm that was raised by your Guns and Hoses game.
Exactly.
Talk a little bit about that and that experience and what made you decide to raise some of the money for this.
Well, since we've been here, we've always tried to be involved with the community in different ways, and we thought the best way this past year was do a football game with the police officers and then have a powder puff game between different organizations. And we had 4 teams come out and participate in the powder puff game, and we raised enough money to donate close to $9,000 to the area breast awareness center. And so that's what we're going to do this week. We're going to donate the money to them through the quarterback club who raised the money for them. And it's going to be a great event. We're also honoring the nurses here. We have a great nursing program here, and we want the nurses to be involved in our community. They're probably one of our biggest alumnus in this community because of the hospitals here and in Columbia. So hopefully we'll get the people out to come out and support us and see a great game between 2 teams that I think will match up well.
All right. Well, thanks for your time today, Coach.